Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Snug Wrestling. It's about that time. WrestleMania Night 1 is officially in the record books. It's time to do the damn thing, where the Snug Wrestling crew is going to break down the matches, the results, the show overall, as we go over half of what's expected of this WrestleMania weekend. Welcome, everybody. Mr. Blood is here, Toxic and Tommy. How we feeling about WrestleMania Night 1? I know you guys got a lot to say tonight.
First off, I can already tell that this is going to be a very love-hate response to this Mania already, and just from night 1. No matter how good night 2 is, there's going to be a lot of critique on night 1. This was the first WrestleMania I watched with my brother in 11 years, and the show ended, and as I'm walking him out to his car, he literally says, "Can't wait to do this all again tomorrow. I just hope night 2 is a lot better because that was a pretty midnight 1." And then he said, "I don't know what the hell that main event was, but they confused the hell out of me with a lot of those decisions they made." And keep in mind, this is the guy, my brother, that got me into pro wrestling. So because of him, I love this show. So the whole time we're watching the main event, we're picking it apart. I'm like, why this? Why that? What's going on here? That makes no sense. And we had a lot of that feeling throughout the night. I think overall, a lot of the matches were fun. The audience seemed to really be into it for the first half. I feel like they really died in the middle. And then it was a very uphill battle getting them back into the show, even during the main event. So if I were to rank this or rate this out of 10, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would give night 1 at least a low 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed Mania because, I mean, just the unpredictability, even though we did predictions, the unpredictability had me guessing the entire time. For all of the matches, I was like, okay, what's going to happen? Is this going to happen? Did I think it was going to happen, or did I not think that it was going to happen? Is it a surprise for me? Is it not? So I enjoyed the guessing game that this entire night of Mania was, and I love whenever a wrestling show is like that in general. No matter if it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT, fucking PLE, it doesn't matter. I like to be guessing.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all on this. This didn't even feel like a Mania to me. If you compare it to the last couple of years, this night 1 just is such a downgrade compared to those two. Not just from like the matches themselves and the fact that we went through 5 matches within 2.5 hours, and then the last hour and a half was, hey, look, let's stretch these 2 as far as possible. But the stage itself as well, if you look at how the stage was the past 2 years and then look at this one here is just such a downgrade as well, because all this one is a fuck ton of screens.
That's a great point, Tommy. My brother literally said as soon as the show opened, that is the most boring and basic set I think I've ever seen them make for a Mania. His first comment when the show opened was literally, that is the most boring stage I have ever seen them make.
Yeah, the other thing too, I found myself going in and out of the show, if I'm being honest. There was a lot of stuff that I loved, obviously, but quick question for you, Mr. Blood. Your brother, for example, does he watch regularly like we do, or is he one of the fans that just catches the WrestleManias and the big shows, every now and then?
He's kind of somewhere in the middle of that, to be honest, because he used to be diehard every week like I was growing up, PG era. He got very much into it again 3 years ago, hard on it. He buys the games every year like I do. He watches the shows. He listens to podcasts, but he does not catch every Raw. He does not catch every SmackDown. He catches highlights here, sees stuff on social medias, or asks me questions and I catch him up on stuff, because he also has 2 children, very small children, and everything else. So he doesn't always get to, I can watch a 3-hour show, He's got a newborn as well as a 6-year-old. So it's like right in the middle for him where he's able to digest all of it, but he's still very much in love with it.
The reason I bring this up is because people like me and you, like us that watch it all the time, it was still hard for me to stay focused the whole entire time because there was a lot of stuff on here that was just like kind of filler, for WrestleMania. It's kind of weird. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to Dayo at Ebola. He just messaged me right now. He's like, I'm about to throw up. He's like, I stayed up until 6 a.m. because he's in Dubai. He's like, I stayed up until 6 a.m. to watch this. What the hell? So, yeah, man, there's a lot of mixed reactions. The other thing, too, my cousin, he watches every now and then. He watches the Manias. He watches the SummerSlams. He was texting me throughout the show, and he was like, where are all the good entrances? I thought this was supposed to be WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, legitimately, I understand a lot of this stuff was last-minute bookings, last-minute pivots, as WWE loves to say, ever since the WrestleMania, 40 build, where the first time they used the word, we had to pivot with the Cody Rhodes thing, and then it became their fallback excuse phrase for everything. We had to pivot. They might as well throw a fucking hashtag in front of it. And legitimately, I agree so very much with Tommy because off the bat, my brother is like the kind of guy who has a very dry sense of humor. It doesn't take a lot to make him chuckle or laugh. It doesn't take a lot to catch his attention. But even like half of his sarcasm and jokes tonight were literally aimed at the lackluster nature of a lot of the. I mean, the first thing he says when the show opens is literally, wow, that stage is such a downgrade. I thought they were recording record profits. And he laughs. And then when they're talking about, when some of the stuff in the main event happened, he's like, yeah, that makes sense. RKO the ref, even though you were just punching in front of yourself, Cody teleported behind you. There were so many things where he was able to just continuously, sharply point out all the things I was thinking, but didn't want to say out loud because I didn't want to ruin his engagement, and I didn't want to pick the show apart while I'm watching it. But he's out here having a sarcastic field day with it, just riffing for 2-3 hours on all the shit that the fatal 4-way. He was like, oh my God. He's like, I really wish there was a way they could do these where it just doesn't look so fucking fake and slow. It's stuff like that. It's like I said, this is going to be a Mania that is going to have a very love-hate with the audience.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say one of the things I was hoping for was, okay, maybe they'll turn it up on Saturday night 1 in order for them to get more ticket sales for Sunday. People are going to be like, oh shit, night 1 was crazy. Oh shit, we got to get tickets for night 2. I don't really think that's going to happen, unfortunately, but let's get into it. We started off really good with the host of John Cena. The first, entrance that we get is from John Cena. Holy shit. Big pop, and he comes out in a suit. He's a host. He tells Stu in the camera, hey, I'm just here to host. I'm not going to do the run-in. I'm not going to run down the ramp. That's not me anymore. But yeah, John Cena comes out. He welcomes everyone to WrestleMania, and people are happy to see John Cena. Everything is all fine and dandy. And then the first opening match, well, actually, before we get into the match, let's talk about John Cena coming back as a host for WrestleMania. Were you guys happy to see the never seen 17 John Cena?
It was hard to see him and not feel a mixture of, oh, hey, it's great to see you, and also, hey, you just reminded me that I forgot how desperate WWE has been lately because you're here and we see you a total of 2 times tonight. They flew this guy all the way out here so we could see him for 2 times. Now, my problem is it's weird, right? Because for the same reason John said, hey, I'm not running down to the ring anymore, basically saying this is not me, that's not who I am, I'm not doing that anymore. It also kind of set the tone for the rest of the show. WrestleMania does not feel like WrestleMania anymore. It barely felt like it last year. It didn't really, so far, in my opinion, feel like it this year. Tonight, it felt like a SummerSlam, not a Mania. I got to be honest, I haven't felt like WrestleMania is WrestleMania since WrestleMania 40. And John sitting there telling me, hey, I'm not doing all the old shit. I'm just here to talk. It was kind of damning, because tonight it just did not have, great moments aside, it did not feel like a WrestleMania. It felt like WrestleMania was like, hey, I'm not the WrestleMania that you knew anymore. I'm this corporate TKO version of what WrestleMania is. Bland, corporate, barely any pageantry, a couple of cool surprises sprinkled in. You'll take it or leave it because we're here. Thanks for buying a ticket.
Just felt like a PLE.
Legitimately, yes.
Yeah, what Blood said is true. Like, overall, Cena's entire thing is to just set the tone. That is literally how it's supposed to be. He's supposed to set the tone. He's the starter of the show. And yes, John Cena was there, but it didn't feel like John Cena was there, because Cena is normally like super energetic and all of that. And for this, he just wasn't. And that was my biggest problem.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, yeah, John Cena just pulled up so the people can hear his song and they can pop. And it was just like every other host, they show up and they say, welcome to WrestleMania, and then he leaves. It just, I don't know, it just felt kind of pointless. I don't want to say pointless, but just
Cheap.
really
Cheap.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if they were like, because they were desperate, so they announced John Cena, hoping that would put more asses in. And if that was the predication of paying John Cena to come host WrestleMania, and if you bought a ticket to WrestleMania to see John Cena, man, you're going to feel like you got ripped off.
And then the opening match was a triple threat 6-man tag team match. The Usos and LA Knight versus I Show Speed and The Vision, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. And overall, I really enjoyed the opening match. It was entertaining to me because not only did I Show Speed, I really showed out. I thought I Show Speed proved that he belongs. I'm not going to say he's like anywhere near being, for example, I don't know, like an Austin Theory or on the level of any of these guys, but I felt like I Show Speed can hang. He looked good. He didn't back down like most chicken shit heels would, like Austin Theory or Logan Paul. After his teammates got taken out, he fucking stood 10 toes down versus LA Knight, which I thought was cool. And the match was short. It was to the point. It was quick. Like most of these matches, this whole entire show felt really digestible. The matches didn't really feel long or like they dragged a whole lot. This opening match was the same way. It had entertaining spots. LA Knight got the pin. Thank God LA Knight and the Usos won, because I'm like, I would have been pissed off if the Vision and I Show Speed were to beat the Usos and LA Knight, because what the fuck, right? But then at the end of the match, Logan Paul ended up turning on I Show Speed. And it was, they kind of put some sympathy on I Show Speed to the point where the people started caring for him, right? And Logan Paul goes after I Show Speed. The Usos and LA Knight come after for the save. They beat up Logan Paul. They set him up on the announce table for I Show Speed to take him out. And I Show Speed gets a nice big WrestleMania moment, jumping from the top rope onto the announce table, taking out Logan Paul with the help of the Usos and LA Knight. I thought for an opening match involving a celebrity like I Show Speed, I thought this was really good.
Yeah, I actually really did like this opening match. I have one critique of it, but I did like the opening match. It was exactly as I predicted. I had even said that LA Knight needed to get the pin here to make good on all the effort he's put in, dealing with this and not getting his spots. I said he needs to take to get the pin. And I even said that I can see the Usos and LA winning, because if the titles aren't on the line, then the Vision can eat the loss here and be fine. And that's exactly what happened here. I don't think anybody's going to think less of the Vision. It's not like they're much of a group right now anyway. My critique is that this match wasn't longer, because that becomes a running theme of the night. This entire show was done in under 4 hours. And this is WrestleMania. Now, look, I didn't need a 5-hour card or a 6-hour card. I don't need the 7-hour Vince McMahon 13 match in one night WrestleMania. But I tell you what, some of these matches could have benefited from having, at least a third gear to them. I felt like this match literally could have gone another 5 minutes and no one would have been upset about it. Because I feel like when the match ends, they literally just were getting out of second gear. And I thought, hey, there's another 5-minute closing sequence we could do here. And then it was over. And my brother and I and my wife looked at each other, and my wife goes, is that it? Was that really? That was quick. And I was like, I know. And we're talking about my wife, who falls asleep during Raw by the second hour start. She never finishes the show, ever. So I would have liked if this was longer, but it was a solid opener. It was a lot of fun. IShowSpeed showed out. I was actually happy to be impressed by him. Looks like he actually put in the work to make this all look really good, and they made him look very good.
So I didn't start watching Mania until LA Knight's actual entrance, whenever he first walked out onto the ramp. So, I mean, watching the opening match, it was great. It was everything I thought it was going to be. That's a theme for like 3 of the matches, being this one and 2 others. But I just love how much work Speed has put into this, because he looked really good in the ring. And Logan, I just love how he's trying to put Speed over, kind of teach him, or that might have been Austin. I don't know. It was one of the two that they're trying to teach him as they go, and just show him how to do it better, because he messes up a few times. And at the end, just like I knew, even though I didn't say it in the predictions, I knew that Logan was going to turn on Speed. And the splash that Speed did onto Logan, onto Logan, that was one hell of a splash. And I think Speed has proven that he deserves to be in the WWE.
He absolutely has, and I'm with Toxic on this, where that splash from the top of the post onto the announcer table, just like that thought process alone, it was risky when Logan Paul did it on Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel a couple of years ago. And here we are now with IShowSpeed, someone who hasn't even been in the company or even wrestling at all for as long as Logan has, even up to that point. And he's still pulling off the same move. It was brilliant on that part. When it comes to the match itself, I loved it. I really did, because of the fact that, once again, a celebrity shows that when they are in the ring alone, they can hang with the big boys. Jelly Roll did it before in that tag match where he tagged with Randy Orton, where he was able to stand his own the majority of that match. So it just full-blown worked, and I loved it.
I would also like to say that throughout the night, that announcer table took a fucking beating tonight. There were so many spots with that announcer table that when we get to the match later in the evening, the opener of the main event, that table stood all it could stand, and that shit blew into pieces.
Yeah, dude, I'm just glad IShowSpeed was able to do that, because I was worried when he jumped up on that fucking, not the top rope, but the fucking top post. And then he tried to hit his C where he jumps. I'm like, bro, stop moving before you fucking fall and break your neck. And then
I just kept worrying he was going to slip when he jumped. I was like, please don't slip. Please don't slip.
Yeah, dude. And then I'm like, oh my God, that table seems a little bit too far away. I was like, oh my God. But nah, everything's all good, people. IShowSpeed did it. It seemed like they practiced it a lot, so he's okay. And it was a good finish. It was a great moment. Great opening match to get things started, to set the tone for the show. I was good here, right? And then we go on to the second match, which was Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Again, like the first match, it felt quick. It fell in and out. Didn't overstay its welcome. Everything's good there, right? But this is a unsanctioned match, right? With the chairs and the blah 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 and the we want tables and all the extraness, right? Okay. They didn't need it, in my opinion. They did not need all of that stuff. They were doing some good shit in this match. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre were doing wrestling moves around a bunch of chairs and around a bunch of weapons. So I was just like, what's the point of having the weapons? They're having a good wrestling match in this thing, right? You know, Drew goes for his Claymore. Jacob counters. Jacob hits him with this moonsault kick out. And I'm like, oh, this is good. They didn't use the weapons a whole lot. They didn't have the barbed wire like Toxic was hoping for. Thank God. There was no juice here. No, I don't think it was needed. Later on, we found out why there wasn't no juice in this match. But at the end of the match, Jacob Fatu hits Drew McIntyre over the head with it was fucking, what is it called? The toolbox. I totally blanked out. Drew McIntyre falls on the table. Jacob does his moonsault on the table. 1, 2, 3. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't like, oh, these guys had to fucking run each other over with cars to beat each other. No. Drew McIntyre takes a toolbox over the head, eats a table. 1, 2, 3. I like this match for a non-sanctioned match. It was enjoyable.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was underwhelming as hell. I'm going to be real here. Let's be honest. I completely disagree with everything you said, and I'll tell you why. Remember, this feud started because Jacob believes that Drew McIntyre kicked his fucking teeth out. So if you kick my teeth out and then you attack me for months, interfere in my matches, cost me opportunities, and keep jumping me, I am not just going to have a wrestling match with you. You kicked my teeth down my throat in kayfabe. I'm going to fucking wring you dry. I thought this match needed color because the blood feud that Punk and Drew had was almost nearly as long as this feud, just a little longer. And when they went to Hell in a Cell, they tried to murder each other for far less than what Drew did to Jacob. It was over a bracelet they tried to kill each other. Drew kicked Jacob's teeth down his throat. Okay, and then interfered in every match he had this year. Drew spent most of the feud talking on his own and attacked Punk like 3 times before they had their 3 matches. As far as I am concerned, this match not only needed the blood, it also needed to be longer. It needed to be more violent because this is supposed to be a blood feud payoff, and they needed to write Drew off so he can go film Highlander, and I figured they would do some crazy fucking spot to write him off TV. Instead, bump through a table, 1, 2, 3. Underwhelming.
Yeah, this honestly could have been just a normal Extreme Rules match because what was supposed to be unsanctioned felt really sanctioned to me. I did like the match. It was great, in my opinion, if it was just a normal wrestling match. But this was supposed to be an unsanctioned match. And like I said, it did not feel sanctioned. So I would have liked to see color, more violence, which not that anyone needs to get hurt for entertainment, AEW, but just it was underwhelming that there wasn't, I wanted to be like Mick Foley level of extreme. That's what I thought this was going to be like 2 weeks ago or whenever it was announced. I thought it was going to be like some ECW hardcore shit. But I mean, it was great, but it just underwhelming as hell.
You're telling me that these two literally had each other jump off of a goddamn building, essentially, just for this to be the end? Are you kidding me? No. As an unsanctioned match, I'm going to full-blown say it. This may be a hot take. Maybe a lot of people will agree with me on this. I don't know. Kevin and Sammy were better. Just plain and simple. As an unsanctioned match itself, Kevin and Sammy were a lot better than what these two were. I really, really wish there was more to this, but one complaint that we will have for the first 5 matches of this goddamn card is that all of them were too short. As I literally said in the beginning, they just crammed the first 5 matches out of the 7-match card into 2.5 hours. So it really, really could have needed more time. Although what they really wanted to do was cram those first 2 matches into that first hour. That way the rest of the matches are off of that free.
I'd also like to note really quickly 2 things. One, funny, I've never seen an unsanctioned match never leave ringside. Unsanctioned means you can do anything and go anywhere. They don't even go in the crowd, okay? They don't go up to the stage. They don't go up to the ramp. They don't jump off of something like the stairs or anything up in the crowd. This stayed as confined to the ring and ring-side area as possible for an unsanctioned match. The second thing is, the reason I was underwhelmed that we got no color is because the ref at one point puts on the medical gloves so he doesn't get blood on his finger. That's the entire point of putting those black gloves on, is in case someone gets busted open, you can apply petroleum to close the wound or give them a towel and help wipe them off. That's the entire point. So when he put those on, I was expecting someone to start bleeding. And then he left them on the entire match. He did not start with them. He put them on partway through. So I'm waiting on the spot for the color that never comes. Because I'm trained by WWE to see that and go, oh, someone's bleeding. And nope, pretty fucking standard. I have had more thrilling matches than WWE 2K20.
All things considered, you guys all bring up a lot of good points. But also, let's keep in mind, this is only the second match on the card that's going to follow up, a women's match for the tag team titles. And then after that, we also have a singles women's match. And then we have a one-on-one regular match between Gunther and Seth. So I don't think, from like a WWE like production standpoint or whatever you want to call it, or like a booking standpoint or whatever you want to call it, they don't usually on the second match on the card go balls to the wall and have the craziest fucking spots and the craziest thing on the show, because there's still stuff that they want to save for the other matches later on the card. The other thing too, the reason for the not having color is because they did it. We'll talk about the main event in the Randy and Cody match. If they did it for this match and the Cody and Randy match, it takes away some of the importance of that from the main event. That could be another reason why they didn't do that on the second match of the card.
But I disagree with that point, because out of all the matches on this card, those 2 specifically are blood feuds. They're literally called blood feuds for a reason. Those are the feuds where I will do anything I have to beat. Those are the 2 matches on the card that should get away with it and it not mean less for either or the other. If you switch this match with the opener, fans will love it. And by the way, WWE fans, they've been crying for shit to get more critical, back to the old PG-13 days. The fans are not going to feel diluted if they see it more than once in a night. They've been crying about seeing it for 5 years. So I disagree with that entirely, because we are in the IWC and all we do is hear people bitch about WWE being too soft.
Plus, here's another reason why it was so underwhelming. Look at how this match was built. You've got Drew McIntyre literally pulling Jacob Fatu out of the broken windshield. You've also got these 2 literally just jumping right off of a balcony as well. And still everything be fine for this match. So these 2 have done so much worse to each other in the build-up to this match than they did in the actual match itself.
Yeah, and I think that reasoning or way of thinking, I think it's more like of a modern day wrestling type of thinking, because this type of stuff, when they protect the little things like that, like, oh, we're only going to use chairs, no one else is allowed to use chairs because they're going to use chairs in the main event, So no one else is able to do it. I think that's more like a old school wrestling type thing where if the main event guys are going to do something, the guys from, the other matches on the card aren't allowed to do it. That's just how WWE is used to doing things. And in that sense, I like that part. But I get what you guys mean. Like as a fan standpoint, you want to see all the craziness and all the wild shit, but not me. I'm okay with it, but that's just me.
I don't think that's exactly it, at least not for my thinking. My thinking is I don't need it used in excess, but I do need it used where it makes the most sense. And there were two places on this card it made the most sense, here in the main event. The only two blood feuds on the card.
Well, Mr. Blood, I hate to break it to you, man, but it's true. The rumors were true, and I felt kind of bad after, I don't know, I just figured that you were always on the internet as much as me. I forget that you have a life sometimes. So I fucking blurted out last night on our live that the reports were coming out all over the internet that Paige was going to show up, and she fucking did, which was a great moment. It was great to see Paige come back to replace Nikki Bella. And the whole time I was like, man, this would have been so fucking cool if they didn't fucking leak it. This would have been a great surprise, a great moment. It would have made this WrestleMania a lot better. But yeah, Paige replaced Nikki Bella in the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team Champions. And crazy enough, she fucking won the damn thing. Paige, the returning Paige, and Brie Bella are the new Women's Tag Team Champions.
It reminds me of the night she got called up to Monday Night Raw from NXT years ago, and she beat AJ Lee the same night to become the new Divas champion. She returns tonight, comes in, walks out, new tag team champions. Even though it was spoiled for me, and I really wish I hadn't known because it would have meant so much more to me, because Paige literally is my top three favorite, and all three of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time are on this card tonight: Charlotte, AJ, and Paige. And I like it because they were literally all back to back. But when it comes down to it, I still audibly screamed at the top of my lungs when I heard the screaming of the bird, and I was singing her theme song the whole way. What pissed me off was this is supposed to be about her, and you got Nikki Bella taking the middle spot on the ramp and like trying to be in the center of her and Brie, and I'm like, Nikki, get your fucking crippled ass off to the side and put Paige in the middle. It's her music playing. This is about her return, and you're taking center. And Paige is walking behind Nikki, and Nikki's got her arms out like in the way of Paige. I'm like, this is not about you. Like, hobble the fuck out of here. And finally, she stops at the end of the decline of the ramp, and then Paige gets to take center stage. And then when Paige wins, here's Nikki coming in the ring, high-fiving her sister in the middle of hard cam. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of the shot. Why are you even in your gear? You're not wrestling. Other than that, feel-good moment. The match, a little messy, a little all over the place. I forgive it because I got Paige. But I will say the match was not perfect. It was semi-lackluster in many areas. A lot of pausing and waiting. It is a person match. But I will say I would have liked it to go a little longer. I thought it ended a lot quicker than I thought. But man, I loved seeing the Rampage. I loved seeing the Paige Turner. I can't wait till the first time she pulls out the PTO submission. But yeah, I loved it. But man, Nikki Bella was really ruining a lot of it for me because she just kept making it about herself.
Yeah, it is so great to see Paige back in WWE. I agree. Nikki Bella, as usual, pissed me off because, for all the reasons that Blood just said, and I don't even think she should have been out there, but she was because that's kind of the whole reason for why Brie and Paige won the titles, which I can totally see Nikki turning on Paige and just taking the titles, and then we get heel Bellas. So that's stupid. The match was great. I really liked it. I liked the Irresistible Forces homage to the, I think, demolition, whatever it is. I
Demolition.
like that. I like their homage with their gear. That was amazing. One thing I do have an issue with though is during Bayley and Lyra's entrance is that like they usually play both of their themes, but then they only played Lyra's and only had Lyra's Titantron on there, and then switched it halfway through to like a half of one, like so it's half Lyra's, half Bayley's. I mean, that just made me mad. I don't know why, but it did. But everything about this match, other than Nikki, I liked.
I will say I'm not mad at this. I'm really not, because it's paid. But there are two spots in this show that I have massive problems with. One of them we'll talk about here in a bit, because I feel like it would have been full circle even more if something different happened here. If they did not win the tag titles, I would have been fine with it going to Lyra and Bayley, because Bayley deserves better. She really does. But we will get to my other problem here in a bit and why it would be full circle there, because it involves Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. But again, we will get to that here in a bit.
And real quick, shout out to my favorite part in the match. The face-off stare down between Charlotte and Paige. For those of you who were around in 2014, 2015, they had a great feud in one of the most controversial promos of all time that caused real backstage issues, where Charlotte was opening up and talking about how her entire reason for wrestling was for the memory of her brother Reed. And when Paige literally looks at her, a line she begged them not to make her say, and they made her say it anyway. And she goes, well, you may have, well, I hope you've got more fight, because your little brother didn't have a lot of fight in him, did he? And he had literally overdosed and died. The same year Charlotte started training in NXT. But it was one of the greatest pull-apart brawls ever. But the sad part behind that is that the office never notified Rick ahead of time and told him, hey, we're going to be using Reed in this promo. So he saw it live, someone dissing his son's death, and it caused a lot of problems backstage. But that feud was awesome. This face-off was the loudest pop next to Paige's entrance. So I thought that was great.
Wonderful. I'm sure you were really happy about that, Mr. Blood.
I
Seeing your two favorite white girls face to face.
My wife got extremely annoyed because I got so loud. I was like, ah! And my brother was like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Blood
so
became
did
the Hulk for a second.
So did everyone and their mamas. No, I'm kidding. A couple quick shout outs. Tyler White's 1997 says, as far as the main event goes, honestly thought Randy was going to punt Cody during the match instead of after the match. We'll talk about the main event in a little bit. It's a me. Shout out to you. Y'all think The Rock is going to show up tomorrow? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. But thanks for your comments. Moving on. Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, Women's Intercontinental Championship on the line. Another great match. I got to say, every time AJ Lee and Becky Lynch are in the ring, some good shit goes down, and some good shit went down. Tonight, Jessica Carr was a referee. At this point, Jessica Carr feels like the special guest referee because she has a lot of involvement when it comes to the match, which is lovely. I thought this was really good. Probably one of my favorite matches of the night. It's odd to say because it's a women's match in the middle of the card, but that's just how WrestleMania went this year. Becky Lynch defeated AJ Lee, and she's the new Women's Intercontinental Champion, even after Jessica Carr tried to cheat her way. How much money did AJ Lee pay Jessica Carr? It doesn't matter because it didn't even work. Because Becky Lynch defeated AJ Lee and Jessica Carr. This was a handicap match, y'all. No, I'm kidding. But what'd you guys think about this?
So this is the one that I predicted specifically, where I said, look, Becky has put AJ over 3 times. And the old adage is when the feud is going to end, you do the honors usually back and put the other one over. They were using Becky to reestablish AJ on her return. She has done that. It's now time to put it back on the full-time worker. If you can really consider Becky a full-time worker, I rarely do. I truly believe that she's in between part-time and full-time. I think she's somewhere in the middle. She isn't on every show. She does not wrestle every week, but she does make towns at least half of the month, if not more. I thought this match was very well put together. I genuinely think these two might be wrestling soulmates. They have chemistry together. All 4 encounters they've had, from WrestlePalooza to War Games to the Chamber match to this, they literally have not missed. They have worked incredibly well together. They sell the hell for each other. I mean, they're good at making you believe that they don't like each other, but I just have a feeling like when you're that good with someone in the ring, it's so hard for me to believe they don't go backstage and just hug the shit out of it and be like, that was amazing. And then, like, you know, AJ gets to hold Rue. Like, I genuinely believe that these girls worked really hard to make this feud work together. And I think they've done an exceptional job with it. I'm excited to see where this goes next. I'm ready to see who Becky's next challenger is and where we can move AJ onto. And I'm hoping it's the world title picture for AJ. But this was a great match for me.
Yeah, it was a great match, but I just hated the ending. I did not want Becky to take the title, which, I mean, it makes sense that she takes it now that I heard, well, I've been knowing this, but I don't know why. The match itself was good, and I think it's about time for Jessica Carr to stop being a referee and get in the ring, because I'm pretty sure she was on Evolve like a few months ago and she did hell of a job. So I think it's finally time we see Jessica Carr step in the ring. I would love that. And even though it's just a simple entrance that the people that wrote her song just sing it and perform it, I'm pretty sure Becky has entrance of the night for me. I really liked her entrance. AJ's is a close second, but Becky's entrance was better for me. I did not, I already mentioned that, but just, I don't think Becky needs the title again unless you have her drop it like that. Like, I'm thinking like a week, but I don't think that's going to happen. But the ending made me mad. The match was good itself.
So there was predictions that I watched from Santi's app, and he said that the only way that AJ should retain that title is if she lost it the Monday after Mania. Here's my biggest thing. AJ should retain here. And I am going to continue my thoughts from the last match as I said I would, because here's what I would have done here. I would have not had Paige get the tag title. I would have had AJ Lee retain here, and then the Monday after, full fucking circle, right then and there, have Paige take the IC title off of AJ Lee the Monday after Mania. That's what I would have loved to see, because it would have gone complete full circle with the Divas title from back when she debuted. But
I don't hate it. My only thing, Tommy, because in fact, you're talking to one guy in the room who's going to love that more than anything you've ever said. I don't hate it. My only thing is we still don't know what kind of contract Paige signed. We don't know if it's full-time. We don't know if it's part-time. So if you pass it from AJ, who's definitely part-time because she runs other businesses and rights and everything else, and you put it on someone else who's on a part-time schedule, then we're in the same spot we were with AJ, where the title isn't seen nearly as often as it should be on TV.
Unfortunate. But the match itself, I absolutely loved it. As Blood said, these two have absolutely phenomenal chemistry there. They are wrestling soulmates. There's no doubt about that. So the ending was the only thing I didn't really like, because I really wanted what I just said to happen, because it would have gone all the way around. But overall, it still worked.
Just put it on Tiffany Stratton, our savior, and she'll save the Intercontinental title division.
I'm going to slash your tires.
Fair enough. All right,
Fuck
let's
off.
move on then.
On the ads, but not it on the card at all.
You guys, I hate to say I told you so, but I'm getting tired of being right all the time because I said Gunther and Seth were going to steal the show. I said that, not Blood. No, I'm kidding. Blood, you were right, dog. Gunther versus Seth Rollins, I feel like it was probably the match of the night that even the crowd popped more for because, I mean, for a match that had little to no build, the amount of heat Gunther has because he's hated a lot for retiring the great John Cena, everyone automatically got behind Seth Rollins and they were cheering. The people were popping. They had a great match. And to make matters even better or worse, if you're Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker is back. He speared the living hell out of Seth Rollins. Gunther takes advantage and he defeated Seth freaking Rollins tonight, night 1 of WrestleMania 42. That's 42 in Japanese.
Bro, I literally called this verbatim, including Braun interfering and being the reason that Gunther would win. I literally called everything. I would like to say Braun looked incredible. He looked even more ripped than before he left. His abs were even more defined. His biceps looked massive. And then he did a no-hand tip up after he speared Seth into the barricade. Dude just had emergency hernia surgery because he was at risk of ripping his intestines. And he just did a no-hand, full-blown tip up. Do you have any idea the core strength that takes? And the man just had surgery underneath his abdomen.
I do
that
all the
was
time.
so impressive. He looked great. Gunther and Seth did a great job. But I would like to state, all those people who think Seth is a better wrestler than CM Punk, you got to eat your crow because Punk had a better match with Gunther at night 1 SummerSlam than Seth had here with Gunther tonight. I don't think you can dispute it. I don't care what you think of Punk. That match was a technical classic clinic at SummerSlam night 1. This tonight was a decent match. It was really good. The best match on the card, probably. But at the end of the day, I don't think it came close to CM Punk versus. I thought it was very well done. Set up Braun perfectly. Seth did great, and he's just back from injury. But I think as good as this match was, CM Punk and Gunther was even better. And I didn't think that it was going to be that way, but I think you can't dispute it now.
Hold on. We got to stop right here because we got a couple shout outs on the chat. What up, chat? How the young folks say it. Jose the Floor Guy says, page entrance of the night. To me, not that y'all asked. We did not ask, but thank you anyway for letting us know. The one that doesn't deserve the title is Cody. Randy deserves to surpass Triple H. We'll talk about that later on. And also, Tyler Watts says, easily match of the night. I'm sure referring to Seth versus Gunther, but go on.
Yeah, this is match of the night, and I completely regret ever saying the words that I did not like the idea of this match. Even though I hate Gunther with a fucking passion, and I will forever die on that hill no matter what you tell me. But they put on an absolute banger. And I don't even think that CM Punk's match with him compares to this at all, even though they are both contenders for great matches with Gunther. Oh, by the way, whoever does the little smoke things inside of Seth's jacket, and I don't mean to skip ahead, but in Cody's jacket as well, absolutely outstanding job. I absolutely loved that effect, and it looked so great. I mean, Seth's gear was great to begin with. The entire jacket that, as Tommy said, looks like a shower curtain. I do not see it whatsoever, but I think he has fully evolved from having these silly, like wacky gears to actually having good gears. And I can't wait to see what else he pulls out for gears. Braun Breaker returning. I mean, everyone expected it. If you didn't expect it, you probably live under a rock. I'm kidding. But that spear from the ramp, whenever they replayed it from like a different point of view, and I saw Braun's face, man, I know he was going through it. That looked like that was painful to try and get through. I mean, going from the top of the ramp all the way to ringside, he looked like he was struggling. I don't know why, but I thought that Bronson Reed was going to be there and just tsunami the hell out of Seth. But I mean, there's always the Monday after WrestleMania. So Bronson, please come back. I miss you. But this outstanding match of the night, it's passes everything that has happened tonight.
Toxic, I got a question for you really quick. Well, comments. One, I thought Gunther's Royal Black and Royal Blue and Matte Black, beautiful gear. Seth, incredible gear, great jacket, blackout contacts, incredible. I will comment on Cody's later. I have a lot to say about that. But so between this match and Punk and Gunther, which one did you like better?
That's hard to say because they were both equally as great. But I gotta say, I can't even pick because Punk and Gunther's was a technician classic. I mean, they did everything that you could possibly think from them. And then Seth and Gunther, they did the same thing. It wasn't technician. There was move stealing, and I can't even pick. But if I have to, it's gotta go Punk and Gunther.
My boy.
Yeah, I'm also going Punk and Gunther here. Like, overall, I look at these two, and yeah, sure, Seth and Gunther, great. I'm also going to explain how the hell I thought that thing was a shower curtain. So, at the top of the shower curtain, there are a ton of holes there that hold it to the shower rod. That is how I saw the holes in the jacket, and the first thing that popped into my head is, that's a shower curtain. That is not a jacket.
My brother saw that and literally said, Drake did it first. Because Drake had a jacket on stage once that was riddled with bullet holes that also had smoke coming out of them. And I'm wondering if that's where Seth got.
He probably did. But I'm looking at Seth and Gunther. Great match. It really is. But at the same time, you've got Gunther and Punk. That thing was near perfect. And then it also has the adage there of right after that match of the ruse of the century happening. So that's why I'm leaning a little bit more towards Punk and Gunther being a little bit better than Seth and Gunther.
Then we had the Women's World Champion being defended. Or should I say the Women's World? No, I'm kidding. Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquer. Liv Morgan did her fucking music video entrance. I guess that's a thing now that they're trying to get over. Yeah. They had a match. Liv Morgan won. Dominic Mysterio came out to celebrate. Thank you for coming, Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, goddamn, it just like most of the matches on this card, quick, easy. It was just a very underwhelming match, you know, not a whole lot happened here. This match felt like it was like 5 minutes and Liv Morgan won very, very decisively. So, I mean, fuck, man, it's just kind of crazy. Like, Stephanie Vaquer was on a winning streak since she came up, since she was on NXT, man. She was just winning and winning and winning. And then she gets beat by Liv Morgan at WrestleMania in like what felt like less than fucking 7-8 minute match. This was pretty crazy. I'm not surprised of the outcome. I'm not surprised Liv Morgan won. I'm just surprised of how she won. What did you guys think?
I'm going to go ahead and correct everybody here, including the WWE themselves, who somehow forget their own booking from time to time. Stephanie is not undefeated since NXT. She lost the Money in the Bank match that she was in because Naomi won it. On top of that, this match, Liv's entrance was cringe as fuck. I mean, shout out to them hitting all the moves, but Jesus Lord, have mercy. I hope that is not her new entrance theme permanently. I hope that's just for Mania, because her, little twinkle, twinkle, evil little star song with the laugh at the beginning, I think it just perfectly fits her. I don't think this trouble thing suits her character at all. It just does not feel like the Liv Morgan character we know. The laugh feels like Morgan because she's a troll, right? She's a rage baiter. That laugh feels like she's rage baiting you. This was the worst match of the night. It was also insanely forgettable. I feel so bad because for all the build they had, this was such a basic Monday Night Raw match, even complete with Judgment Day girl interference. I mean, fuck, you could have Roxanne turn on Liv here. Hell, you could still have it done on Monday, but it should have been more effective here for a better closing angle. Until you started talking about this match, I thought we were going to the main event next. I legit forgot this match was here. It was so forgettable, and it was less than 2.5 hours.
This match was spoiled for me, and I just hated it in general. It felt like they hit the same couple of moves, and then 1, 2, 3. How it was spoiled is one Liv's music video that is, I hate to say it, her new theme, because Michael Cole said it on Monday. That is her new theme, which sucks. And we better not see the same. We better not see I don't want to see the video. I don't want to see it. Yes, we get it. We get it. And it's also spoiled to me because a couple of days ago, Liv Morgan and Stone Cold Steve Austin, as advertised during commercial break, have their own Fortnite skins. So that also ruined it for me. But yeah, the match was just stupid. And I do want to touch up on a comment that I saw. Yes, it felt like a Monday Night Raw match, but at the same time, it did feel like a WrestleMania match. Someone in the live that I was watching Mania from said that this does not feel like a Mania match at all, and it feels like a Bad Blood level paper. Feels like a Bad Blood match level. Like this should be on something like Bad Blood or something, which I don't disagree, because the match was it was something, but yeah, it just it needed to be better because I didn't like it.
And real quick to clarify, what you're saying, sorry, Tommy, what you're saying, for those who might have been confused on what Tommy was trying to, or what Toxic was trying to say, when you're saying the match was spoiled for you, you're saying because they overly advertised Liv this last week. All of her interviews she did, because she did like 5 interviews this week. Stephanie did like 1. The Fortnite skin shit, the brand new music video they're shoving down everybody's fucking throat, the ads and commercials she's in. They basically told you, yeah, we're going with the Liv Morgan push we were planning on doing at Evolution last year before she got injured, and we're going to promote the shit out of her. So that basically was like, they're not going to spend all that money doing that if she's losing, basically, is what you're saying, right? Okay. He's shaking his head yes for our listeners. Go ahead, Tommy.
I hate the fact that Toxic just said this is her new theme, because I listened to it and my response is this is worse than literally anything Def Rebel has ever released. And that is saying something, because Def Rebel has put out some really shit theme songs. They really have. So for this to be her new theme, and for her entrance just to be, hey, I'm going to do part of the dance to my new theme, and then have them rip this tux off of me just so I could reveal the gear that's underneath. Why? It is so dumb. So goddamn dumb. The match itself, I had a lot of fun with. It's Stephanie Vaquer. She's great. It's Liv. She's great too. Liv attempted to do the Devil's Kiss. That didn't end up going her way. But overall, the match itself was fine. I'm fine with the fact that Liv Morgan is world champion. That's what I predicted anyways. So Let's do it. And Dom, you better be celebrating hard right now, because after Finn Balor is done with you, you may not be celebrating, my friend.
I thought we were going to get a major return from Bianca Belair because her music hit. And I'm like, damn, there she is. We've been wondering where the hell she's been. She's been out of TV for an entire year to the day. Till this day. The last time we saw Bianca Belair was last year's WrestleMania. She had a finger injury, reportedly, and she shows up tonight. Okay, maybe she's better. Maybe she recovered. Maybe we're going to see a return. But nope. She is pregnant. She made the big announcement. She showed her big old baby bump, glowing like crazy, happy as ever, smiling from ear to ear. Congratulations to Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. But what about me? What about me? We're not going to see Bianca Belair back in WWE anytime soon.
First and foremost, absolutely congratulations to Bianca and Montez. I had the pleasure of meeting Montez and Angelo at MegaCon last month, and I had said to him before we had parted ways, hey, I want to wish a speedy recovery to Bianca for the hand and everything, because I know the knuckle was, an issue, making it more complicated for her to return. And he had responded with, oh, yeah, man, it's the finger. Apparently it's just in a really bad place, but she's going to come back at some point. You'll see her real soon. She'll be better than ever. And I guess better than ever was hinting at, oh, yeah, life-changing better than ever. And Montez, such a sweet guy, such a kind guy. And Bianca's the sweetheart, too. And the moment she came out with her entrance, I knew she was pregnant. Automatically, I knew she was pregnant. The dead giveaway, for anybody who's married or been around, if you're married or older like me or Edgar, you have a lot of friends who are also married and have children, or they get pregnant. And the one thing you can tell, a woman's neck looks a little different when she's put on baby weight. It gets a little thicker under here. It gets a little wider. Wow. But she was also wearing that big, awesome sweater that she probably made, because Bianca is amazing and makes all of her own stuff. And man, that woman should have a fashion label. But you could tell by the way it was so big in the middle, she was hiding something for a reveal. And I was like, that woman's pregnant. My wife goes, how can you tell? I said, you're a woman. You can't tell that she's pregnant. So then when she starts unzipping, I was like, told you. And there she was. And she looks like she's at least in partially through the way of her second trimester, because that bump was starting to get pretty prominent. So I would love, and Snug Wrestling would love to extend congratulations to Bianca Belair, Montez Ford, and a nice, beautiful, healthy pregnancy together. You two are wonderful. You deserve happiness. And now you get to welcome a new member into your family. And we couldn't be happier for you, because you guys are two of the best wrestlers in the ring and out of the ring on the.
Yeah, congratulations, Bianca. I hope everything goes well. Speaking of pregnancies, I heard that Naomi gave birth, and I heard that because on the Hot Ones versus with Jimmy and Jay told Jimmy that I like your newborn baby. So I hope we get to see Naomi back in the ring soon. I can't wait for her to return. I actually have a thought that she's probably going to be a major factor. If she's not ready to come back. If she is, then I hope she's a major factor in tomorrow's match with Jade and Rhea. But if she's not, then take all the time she needs. But so happy for Bianca. I almost said Naomi again. And I damn near thought that under that jacket, she was hiding like her finger or something, because I could not see one of her hands. I thought she was about to reveal saying, oh, hey, I'm here. I know. I also, for some reason, thought, someone in the live made me think this, that she was about to announce her retirement. I would have just have screamed, no. I actually did. I was like, shut the fuck up. But once again, congratulations, Bianca. I hope everything is well for you and Montez.
Oh, yeah. Big congrats to those two. Toxic. The robe was literally connected to her finger. Plain and simple there. The robe itself was built in a way where it could slip onto one of her fingers and slip onto the other on both sides. So that's how that was made. Here's my biggest thing. Yes, I am happy for Bianca and Montez Ford. Fantastic for them. But at the same time, that means we have to wait even longer for this shit with Jade Cargill to end. So at this point, with the fact that it's been a year of her being gone, and the fact that she's pregnant, so it's going to be even longer, write the damn thing off. Just end it off screen somehow, just like you did involving Austin Theory and that tag team.
Just never mention it again, and whenever she comes back, randomly pick it up and surprise the fans, but just don't tease anything about it anymore. Make fans forget about it.
Exactly. Just end it. Do not bring it up whatsoever, because we do not want to wait another year just for this to end.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. If they bring it back, at least me personally, I'm not gonna care about it. I'm just not. Yeah, congratulations to Bianca. Huh?
I said, yeah, not 2 years removed from the initial story.
Yeah, but knowing the WWE, that might be the case. But congratulations to good old Bianca. Hopefully she comes back stronger than ever. And she comes back her usual self, you know. Because that's not the case all the time, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want to get into any more trouble. But I hope Bianca comes back like her usual self when she's ready to. All right, now it's time to talk about the main event because we're already getting the comments. The people were not happy with the main event, Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the WWE Undisputed Championship. And one of the things that me and my cousin were talking about throughout the show was, what about the entrances? Cody got the big entrance. I thought it was a lovely entrance. That got me behind Cody right away. It reminded me of Cody's history, you know, when he wore the mask, when he was Stardust. And it just reminded me why I love Cody so much once again. So I got behind Cody automatically right off the bat. And I was rooting for Cody the whole time. And I wanted to see him win. But Pat McAfee's there being a dick. Thankfully, they got all that shit out of the way before the match. The shit with Pat McAfee, the shit with Jelly Roll. Let's give them their moment and let's get rid of them so we can have a good old-fashioned wrestling match between two major fucking stars like Cody and Randy Orton. And for what it wasn't a fucking Dave Meltzer 5-star banger like most people were hoping for. But this was Cody, this was Randy, there was, you know, the story, the history, and they told a good story in the ring, you know. Randy was selling the back. Michael Cole had mentioned that Randy had injured himself at some point before the match, and that was a major factor in this. So Cody Rhodes was going after Randy's back. And then at one point, I missed it. I didn't even see when Randy got busted open. So Cody goes after that head wound. And for me personally, I thought this was a great main event. Unpopular opinion. A lot of people hated this match, but I loved it. And Cody Rhodes won, which was the guy that I was rooting for. After the match, Randy attacks Cody with the belt. And we see something we haven't seen in many, many years because it was not allowed. It was forbidden. The punk kick to the head came back. Randy Orton punk kicked Cody. A bleeding Cody. He was fucking bleeding fucking all over the... I am overall genuinely happy with this main event and the outcome and the shenanigans. But that's just me, y'all. What did you think?
All right. Here's the rant. Keep it all in. I'll keep it under a minute. First and foremost, this is the coolest gear Cody has ever worn ever. It is my favorite Cody gear of all time. This shit was sick. They pump faked us in the worst way. They made us think that they were listening to the fans. They got rid of Jelly Roll and they got rid of Pat off rip, and we thought they're gonna just make it about Cody Randy. We have what results in an okay match, a little bit, in my opinion, better than John Cena and Cody, but not by much. We get the color, we get the violence. Cody's bleeding profusely, have no idea how he busted himself open over his left eyebrow. Randy busted himself open by running head first into the post. But then it came down to all the things that made no fucking sense. Why did Randy RKO the ref when he was just in boo punches with Cody? He knows Cody's in front of him. So why did he RKO the ref and then look confused that the ref was the one he RKO'd, and then they put it over on commentary? Then Pat comes down to help him. You know, the guy who's been trying to make him win the championship, he turns on Pat even though Randy's still a heel. Okay, that's cool. The low blow completely misses. We still sell it. Cody still gets the win. He gets punted after and not during the match. The fans want him to do it again, but then the fans pissed me off because I was like, you wouldn't do a punt a second time. A punt is supposed to be a one-and-done knockout. That's what sells it. You don't just line it up again. The guy's supposed to be unconscious. And then they booed the entire end straight into the credits. It, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 6. It sucked in so many ways.
I just hate the bipolar ass crowd that is Vegas. I just hate it. Cody's entrance was great. I loved it. I loved all the history, like all this, like rewinding, I guess you could call it. Blood would know what to call it. But the match itself was okay. I liked that Jelly Roll got involved because we all knew that he was going to get involved some way, somehow. And I am so glad that Pat McAfee tried to jump Cody, which he did, but he got put through the announce table by a diving elbow from Jelly Roll, and I popped big. And you can tell that it is just not corporate Pat McAfee, because as soon as McAfee was getting wheeled out, he did the Terminator thumbs up and then flipped Jelly Roll or whoever he was flipping off. I died laughing when I saw that, but the entire thing with Randy RKOing the ref and then RKOing McAfee confused me. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Is he turning face again? Is he not face? Because, I mean, he just clearly RKO'd the ref so McAfee could come out. And why didn't we see Jelly Roll come back out and deal with McAfee? I guess that makes more sense now because Randy ended up RKOing him, so that's my fault for being stupid. But the ending of the match is where I popped big because I am so glad that Cody retained the title because there are so many other people that need a shot at it. And I want to see Randy get number 15, but not now. And yes, I've said it before that he needs number 15. I'm pretty sure I've said it. Just not now after this match. Just no. I feel like they're going to have another one and probably at Backlash maybe. But one of my biggest questions is how the fuck did Cody get busted open on his left, whatever one is left, left eyebrow, and it went all the way to the back of the head. And I think he even knew to know that because he started smearing it on the back of his head whenever Randy was lining up the punt kick. So, I mean, how did that happen? I don't know. That confused me.
The match was fine. Like, as Blood said, it was slightly better than him versus Cena, but that isn't really much to say. But it's toxic. Guess what this means? No more Pat McAfee! Let's go! Like, I absolutely love the fact that if McAfee is true to his word here, that he will no longer be heard or seen on WWE TV again. And after everything that Pat McAfee has done to this feud, because he absolutely ruined it, I am so happy.
We still don't know what contract he signed.
That's what I was about to say. There's the fucking the what's the word? The catch, right?
Exactly. And on top of that, the only thing we aren't getting, thankfully, is the stupid tag match that was gonna come out of this at Backlash. It looks like TKO might have slightly listened to creative and pivoted. They want to keep Pat involved, but they are giving on the tag match. But then they still fuck up the finish by pump faking, making us believe that they were going to take Pat out of the equation, make the fans happy, and still had him involved in the finish.
So, and here's my other thing. The punt kick. It was great that it was there. Should it have happened in the match instead of after? Yes. But at the same time, this punt kick should have happened months ago. Because you've been teasing this punt kick from Randy Orton for months now. The original plan was for him to do it on Kevin Owens.
Pause. I'm going to stop you right there, Tommy. This is a move that's been banned from the WWE for years. We haven't seen it. If Randy were to do it during the match, it would have been a disqualification technically.
The point still stands. Why wait?
No, it doesn't.
Long? Why
No, it
wait
doesn't.
so long to do this damn move when the original plan was to do it to Kevin Owens like almost a year ago?
Because it matters more here, dog, for the story.
No, it doesn't. Kevin
Okay.
Owens' literally entire thing was the fact that he pulled out that pile driver, an illegal move, onto Randy Orton. So
Also,
an illegal move for an illegal move. It would have made more
Hindsight
sense.
being 2020, now we know Kevin Owens had a bad neck this whole entire fucking time. So that's another reason why they probably didn't do it.
Okay, fine.
It's all good, Tommy. I love you, dog. But yeah, that was WrestleMania Night 1. We still got WrestleMania Night 2 tomorrow. We got lots of content, lots of clips coming up. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Let's get the fuck up out of here.
Thank you guys for kicking with us here on Snug Wrestling. That's another episode in the books. Again, that's our post-show review of WrestleMania 42 Night 1. We will be joining you again tomorrow, roughly around the same time that the show gets out at the same time. Of course, tomorrow there is one less match, and we will be here live on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook tomorrow night for that post-show review. And again on Monday after Raw. And if you like kicking it with us, you can always do it throughout the week after Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night shows for live post-show reviews. And join us on Thursdays on TikTok Live for our one-on-one hours. Myself, Mr. Blood, and the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, where we do 1 hour random or relevant wrestling topic specials and Q&As with the fans. However, next Thursday, we will not be on TikTok Live. We'll be live here again on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook with a special guest we will not mention just yet, but that will be coming soon. And to support the podcast, head on over to teepublic.com, TEE public.com/Snug Wrestling to pick up your Snug Wrestling merch. We have over 80 or so designs that go on tons of different items of classic and cool wrestling designs we have made ourselves for the podcast. Please go on over and treat yourself to that. And until next time, gentlemen, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. Boys, for WrestleMania Night 1 time, for the one time I said that was
4 letters.
4 letters.
More.